Hi, I'm Sean, and I am partnered with Teen Advisory Board with Howard County Library System, and today I will be teaching you while loops in Python. And so what is a while loop? A while loop is a piece of code that keeps repeating while a condition is true. It's very simple. And so I want to emphasize the difference between while loops and for loops. While loops are useful for repeating sets of instructions until something you want occurs. And I will emphasize or iterate on that later. And for loops, it is useful for going through iterable things, such as strings or arrays. And you learned that last lesson. And so I'm in Repl.it. If you don't know what Repl.it is, it's an online Python development environment. So I'm going to write a basic while loop, and this is how you do it. In Python, the keyword is while, and you want a specific condition. And before I do that, I'm going to declare a variable. And in terms of conventions, you can do whatever you want, but typically it's I. So I'm going to write I is equal to 0. And so here's our condition, right? So while I is less than 10, we can do something very basic. So I'm going to print out the number I, right? And this is very important. For while loops, at the end of your while loop chunk of code, you want to write what happens to I, because you don't want it to run forever. So I is equal to I plus 1. And so what that does is each time the while loop repeats, it's going to add 1 to I. And we're going to run this piece of code. So as you can see, it just repeated itself 10 times. Now, if you wanted this to go up to 10, right, the number 10, you can set this to less than or equal to. So when I equals 10, then that's when it stops, right? Yeah, and this repeats 11 times. And so I'm going to warn you about the dangers of infinite loops. Infinite loops are when the condition is never equivalent to false, so the loop runs on forever. And what I can do here is delete this just to demonstrate. And so in this case, I will always equal to 0 because I never changes, right? And since I is always less than or equal to 10, it will just keep on repeating forever and ever, right? So this is infinite, it never changes, right? And what you can do to prevent that is to write the condition, right? And I'm going to teach you the shorthand for the code. So instead of writing I equals I plus 1, you can do plus equals 1. And so all this indicates is I equals itself plus 1. So this is how you prevent an infinite loop, just by writing a condition. And now I'm going to demonstrate how to use continues and breaks. Continue is a key word within Python, and it simply means to, if a specific condition is met, then it skips the rest of the code within the while loop and it goes back up. So I will demonstrate this. Let's say I wanted to exclude the number 6. So I'm going to delete this. I'm going to write a specific line of code. So let's say if I equals 6, right? Then we still want to increase so we can continue the loop. So I equals I plus 1. And then we want to write continue. And then we're going to write the normal code. So we're going to print I, and then we're going to write I plus equals 1. So we're still increasing I by 1. And so when I equals 6, it will skip this. It will not print 6, and then it'll repeat itself, and it will print 7, and I'll move on. So when I print this, yep, as you can see, it skipped 6. It goes from 5 to 7. And now we're going to talk about breaks. What breaks are is you stop the loop completely, and it moves on to the next chunk of code. It skips the while loop and moves on. So I'm just going to say print hello, so that it indicates that we've moved on from the while loop. What I'm going to do is write another basic loop. We're going to print I, and then we're going to write I plus equals 1. And if, right, I equals, let's say, 8, then we are going to break the loop. Hopefully this works. Right, so what happened here is it repeated until it hit 7, and as soon as it hit 8, it skipped. And it didn't print out 8, 9, 10, or anything else. It skipped, and it moved on to the next chunk of code. So that's what breaking is. Okay, so what I did was I wrote a basic while loop. And this time I did is I equals, or I is less than 100. And if I modulus is basically you divide it and it returns the remainder. So when you divide I by 4 and it is the remainder is equal to 2, I want to print out I. And so when you divide it, right, you get the string of numbers. And let's say on the off chance that we can write a condition within a condition. So let's say if this number is equal to 50, I want to print out something. Hooray, 50. And then we can break it. So that'll be our condition. When we run it, right, it runs this, and it breaks, and nothing else runs, and it skips the rest of the while loop. So I'm going to demonstrate a nested loop. And nested loop is simply a loop within a loop. And in this case, you have to use two different variables to avoid overlapping of the variables. So it's just better to use two different variables. And so I'm going to use I equals 0, just as the previous example. And I'm also going to make j, right? So these are two different ones. And so we're going to start off with our normal while loop. So while I is less than or equal to 10. And then we're going to write j equals 0. And I will explain that later, but for now, I just keep that there. And then now we're going to write our second while loop. While I is less than or equal to, j is less than or equal to 10. And then we're going to do something very annoying. I don't know, say a hello. And just like our normal loop, we want to increase the value of j by 1. And so this will repeat 10 times. So what this while loop will do is it will set j equal to 0. Then we will write the while loop. This will repeat 10 times. And then when this ends, we want I to increase by 1. And when we run this, this will have repeated 100 times. And so how did I figure that out? Well, in basic while loop or loop logic, what you do is you just multiply this number, the number in the outer loop, and you multiply it by the inner loop. So 10 times 10 equals 100, so this will repeat 100 times. And the reason why I said j equals 0, right, is because if I didn't set it that way, this will only run 10 times. So if I delete this, it'll run once, right? So this is 1 set of 10 hellos. And so what happens is that since j is now equal to 10, this part of the code will not run. And so what we have to do is set this equal to j equals 0, so we reset the counter. So that's the basics of a nested loop.